So, this is a new shirt. Nice. For the delightfully frightening Photoshop job.
On a line, unfortunately.
No, this is, the point is made.
There you go.
Thank you very much. Might play the song later on. There it goes. So anyway, hello everyone!
Hello.
Hi. Are you as awake as I am?
No!
Yeah. No! That means somewhat getting better? So ThunderCon, hopefully I'll get a chance to meet him. I remember last year at ThunderCon, I was sitting in the waiting room, not quite sure who the other guests were, and these two people walk in, kind of older folk, you know, and I'm like, oh cool, who are these folks? I asked the liaison to introduce me. He's like, oh, this is so-and-so. It's the voice of She-Ra. I was like, okay, that's kind of cool. And this is so-and-so, he's the voice of Skeletor. And I was like, sir, you defined my fears when I was 5. It's like, I appreciate your attention. That was a glorious moment, just to have that. And I didn't want to say it, but I was like, and you're starting to become your character. I didn't say that. ThunderCon is in September, I think. So keep, it's just a little ways away. So if you are interested and curious to go make a trip to sunny California and visit my neck of the woods for that reason, please do so. I'll be there. We'll party. It'll be fun. Question?
Is Daniel Norton as blunt and nerdy in personality real life as he is on Facebook?
Dan Norton is awesome. Dan Norton, he's a geek like me. I've actually dragged him into his first D&D game in like 20 years recently, because I'm that kind of nerd.
Nice.
But he's funny. He's one of those guys that's just bombastic. Everything's just out there and loud and awesome, and he talks more dude than I expected him to. You know, for the guys like the art director of Thundercats, draw his comics, you know, you go to enough comic conventions, he used to very demure, very, you know, oh no, it's my pleasure, it's great. And he's like, hey, what's up, man? Oh, nice to meet you, Tygra, fuck yeah, woo! You know, it's like, okay, let's do this. Pardon my French. But that was a Dan Norton impression. But yeah, he's just a very bombastic person, an incredibly talented artist. If you guys get a chance to see any of the stuff he has in his DeviantArt, he's an incredible artist. And he's actually put up a lot of the original concept designs for Thundercats for this series. Like, you know, some designs that didn't make it. You can see kind of the transition to the final designs. You can see a bunch of other characters that have yet to show up. So definitely check out his stuff on DeviantArt. I think his name's like Dingo107 or something. Like you do when you have a DeviantArt name. It's almost as bad as an AOL account. Steve Bison, 1987. Anyway, I'm rambling. That's what I do. Next question. Yes?
What other shows have you watched as a kid? Which shows do you think actually did hold up
What's up? What other shows like?
what other shows did you watch as a kid, and which shows do you think have hold up?
That do hold up? Oh, let's see. That hold up? That's a good question. I've gone back and watched a lot of my favorite shows as a kid and been like, I still think the original Transformers movie holds up to this day. Man, every time I hear, you got the touch, I feel like I'm going to rule the world. Like, just stand up a mountain and just call out my name and the world will feel my glory. It's just like, it's just so inspiring. I absolutely love Darkwing Duck. And that show holds up. That's another person I got to work with, Jim Cummings, who did the voice of Darkwing, who actually shows up in Native Son, that episode I was telling you about. Getting to work with him was a dream, partially because the guy's everything. He's Winnie the Pooh, he's Tigger, he's Darkwing, he's all these characters. But for me, my true nerd central core, he was the voice of Minsk in an old game called Baldur's Gate for the PC. Old D&D game. It's like my favorite character. This partially mentally damaged ranger who carried a giant miniature space hamster with him. And he's just one of my favorite characters in gaming. And so I was able to meet him and work with him in the booth. And at the very end, like, I just one time, I'm a big fan of your work. He's like, oh, no worries. Like, I love you as Minsk in Baldur's Gate. He kind of stops and goes, that's a random choice. He's like, you don't get that very often, do you? He's like, no. I'm like, well, you should. Because Minsk is awesome. I think he was creeped out. And that's fine. That's okay. I accept that. It's important for me. I got what I need. Yeah, that's cool. He also drums in the booth, I didn't know that. He always comes in with drumsticks. And like he'll just sit down in the chair while he's recording, like in between lines, he'll just be drumming his legs. It's his thing. I don't know if it's an OCD thing or it's just, he's a kick-ass drummer who doesn't have a drum set. But yeah, it's an interesting little tidbit there. Like Will Friedle can't record without his hat on. He has a recording hat, which he got at a party years ago from Rob Schneider, and it's for the movie The Animal, which he never even watched. But it's just, and it's like the hat is falling apart. It's been like repaired 7 times with super glue, and it's just, it looks grody, and it's amazing. But he can't record without it. Like if he leaves it in his car, he'll leave and go put it on. It's just been his kind of his booth security blanket for years, and it's really interesting. Everyone has those little things. Like me, apparently I need personal space in the booth because when I'm doing a scene, I'm acting it out. If we're doing ADR and Tygra's whipping, I'm doing this with my hand. Like I can't, I don't realize it. And so I'll end up finishing a recording and I'll look over and everyone's kind of staring at me going,
Have you ever hit anyone doing that?
yes, I have. Usually Will's to my right, so it's usually him. He's in range. It works out well. We also like to do the creepy stare. That's always fun. When, like, you know, he has to do like a long driver's line. Like me and Robin will just slowly close in to his shoulder and just start staring right at him. Just slightly cross-eyed when we're not making eye contact. When we're like staring at his eyebrows. Then he'll stop and be like, which is fun. I think one of my favorite recordings was it wasn't Halloween, it was the day before Halloween. We were doing ADR on an episode, and that night we were meeting some friends for this place called the Magic Castle in Los Angeles, which is like this big magician's mecca. It's like where all these magicians go to perform and train and study. And it's just this awesome kind of club, nice, you know, suit and tie only attire. It's just a cool place. But they have one night a year for Halloween where they let you go in costume. And so me and my girlfriend were like planning to go ahead and show up in costume, and she was going to be Chitara, and I was going to be Mumra.
I saw that on Facebook.
Yeah. And so we had this all planned, we'd get the costumes, and then they ended up changing our Thundercats session from morning to afternoon. And we didn't get out till 6, and we had to be in Hollywood by 7 for this event. So we realized that the only way to do this was to show up to the session in costume. So I got to walk in as Mumra and record an ADR session as Tygra. With which Robin was there the whole time. He's recording as Mumra. I'm just glaring at him. Had the hood up with the headphones over the hood. And he stopped recording like, you did a very good job. I like what you did with that, but a little more feeling. It was delightfully creepy. Oh man, there have been some silly things. I'm sorry. I'll try harder. Yeah. Oh, he's laughing. No, he's not. Is he? I can't tell. I have this effect on children. Next question. Oh, you said.
How do you land your part of the Ganondorf or like Kirby?
Directed it.
Oh, I mean for There'll Be Brawl.
Yeah.
Well, that was an easy cast because I directed it. that was an easy transition. Well, that came about partially because when me and Zach agreed to make the series, I was like, this is going to be a lot of time. For those of you who aren't familiar, I directed a web series. I performed in a web series a few years ago called There Will Be Brawl. It's like a live-action film noir kind of HBO crime drama rendition of the Nintendo universe, where it's like this dystopian, corrupt mushroom kingdom, and the Mario Brothers have fallen from grace, and it kind of follows Luigi mainly as the second brother in the shadow, who's, you know, kind of this soulless, you know, hero who's forced to take charge. And I do the voices of Kirby and Ganondorf. Or I do the voice of Kirby and Meta Knight, and then I play the crime boss Ganondorf, which is a lot of really itchy facial makeup and prosthetics. But yeah, that was we decided at the very beginning. I was like, I need characters that I can put on a reel. I'm gonna put this much effort into it, and we were going through it, and we were casting, and there were certain characters people couldn't get. Nobody could really get the feel for Kirby, and no one was really getting the Ganondorf feel I wanted. I wanted that kind of like Daniel Day-Lewis from Gangs of New York kind of feel. And I gave an example. I was like, I want something like this, and I just like read some lines off, and then we stopped and went, I'll do it, fine. So that's just for that. As far as like other things, like I am like voiceover stuff or on camera, that's all the usual audition process. That's, you know, just do your best and cross your fingers and hopes that it calls you back. And occasionally they do, which is nice because then I can pay rent. Got a question over here?
Was Tygra originally who you were auditioning for, or were you just trying to get any role on the show?
I originally auditioned for both Lino and Tygra. Either I didn't care. I was just like, just get me on Thundercats. That's what we on the show. I remember I went into the booth that day. Like out of all the auditions that I'd done in a long time, that was one where I spent all day working on the sides for both and making notes. And I go into the booth director of my agency. His name was Seth Podwitz, and I go, Seth, we're booking this. You do what you have to. You beat me up, you tear me down. You do what you need to do, but we're booking this. And he was like, okay, man, you're kind of intense there, buddy. All right. And apparently it worked. So now because I go in and like set today's like, don't do it again, man. One time's enough. You got your fill.
What if they ask me to voice Snarf?
Ask me to voice Snarf? That would be a moral dilemma. I'd have to meditate on that for a while. I'd have to like go on a spiritual journey into the desert for a week. And then I'd have an answer for you, so.
Shoot it up.
Yeah. Oh. No. Well, let's see. Oh, question.
Could you do Snarf?
Could I do Snarf? It depends on the version. If it's a current Snarf, I can do like the cutesy, Snarf.
Yeah, like,
But
80s Snarf.
80s Snarf?
Yes.
I could. Do I want to? There's no difference.
There will be roll Snarf?
There you go. How did that work? Thundera's been having a rough time, Lino. Wipes the cocaine from his nostrils. Sorry, Tim. Poor guy. Wow, that happened. Okay.
Please tell me somebody recorded that.
There you go.
Got it.
There's no escape. Most anything I ever do that is remotely embarrassing at a convention, I can guarantee will end up on YouTube. There are stories. There are videos. There are regrets. That was not one.